Hello and welcome to the second day of the International Hospitality Investment Forum, EMEA, here in Berlin, Germany. I am CoStar News Hotels news editor Sean McCracken, here with my Europe-based counterpart, Terence Baker. Terry, what are you hearing today?
Whenever we come to these conferences, there's always a news issue, a crisis happening. The Middle East crisis is a little bit closer to the start of this conference than we would all like, of course, obvious reasons, but it's very close. A lot of noise yesterday. It's all settled down today somewhat.
You mean the discussion?
In discussion. Well, maybe even the crisis. I mean, we're hearing... news has to fill a vacuum, so we're hearing a lot of things. But even that seems to be a little bit less fraught than yesterday, but that's another issue. Mm-hmm. But what we're hearing in the hotel industry and the operations is let's concentrate on what we always concentrate on. There always will be crises. Mm-hmm. Are deals not being done? No, they are. They're still being discussed. Is debt available? Yes. You might have to do a bit more underwriting on the deal, scrutinise, more due diligence. Somebody said you might have a third credit committee, not a first and a second sometimes on these deals. But operations, deals, hotels are still being done because fundamentally there's still a desire to travel in all corners of the world. What are you hearing?
I mean, a lot of the same. I will agree the conversation has definitely shifted from day one to day two. It does seem like the level of uncertainty around everything is kind of underpinning the discussions, even if we're opening ourselves up to a little more optimism. I think part of that, and I've heard this specifically from some folks, is that we're just so used to uncertainty and disruption now. Like, it's kind of the status quo these days. So, it's not like people want a new crisis every single year since COVID, but if you get that, if that's the operating environment we're all in, you just kind of learn to grow accustomed to it and keep moving forward. Like you mentioned, I feel like there is a sense of optimism both on the trajectory of travel in this region of the world specifically and the ability for people to get deals done. That said, there is a considerable amount of hesitancy I've picked up from people on when you ask them the pretty rote question of, well, what do you expect for the rest of 2026 and how do you feel about 2027 at this point? Usually people hem and haw and say, well, let me get out my crystal ball. Right now they're like, I couldn't even begin to venture, probably a little bit worse than we expected a few weeks ago, but it's too early to say. So, I
mean, I haven't heard, I think in all the conversation I've had on the record and off the record, only one person said, I'm not going to be talking about the Middle East. Mm-hmm. But as you say quite rightly, the hesitancy to say what predictions are for that, well, yes, you wait and see, as it could all change tomorrow.
Absolutely. So that's it from the second day here at IHIF. Stay tuned for more coverage.
I'm Terence Baker, news editor, Europe, Middle East and Africa, and I'm the host of The Upgrade, a CoStar News Hotels podcast for the EMEA region. In it, I discuss with special guests the pressures, challenges, joys and exhilaration that comes with managing, owning and developing hotels in our glorious multifaceted industry. Discovering the EMEA region from the scenic northern shores of Norway to heights of Table Mountain in South Africa, and most likely some chat about birdwatching, distance running and the English Premiership. Join us wherever you find your podcasts, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify and on other platforms.
This episode of the CoStar News Hotels podcast was recorded on March 24th, 2026, live at the International Hospitality Investment Forum in Berlin by Meredith Sheridan. It was edited for podcast by Sean McCracken. Visit CoStar.com/hotel news for more coverage and find all of our podcasts on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen.